Welcome back everyone, it's 2025 and I'm happy to get back to working on my car again. I was on holiday so I didn't get a bunch of time to work on it yet, but I did get a bunch of things in the mail. I've also been doing some CAD work behind the screens to work on this car and make the next couple of steps easier. I did get a bunch of parts in the mail, like this 1.8 NA Miata alternator, which is useful because it has the right pulley and it's self-regulating, so I don't need to use an output on the ECU. I also have a bunch of intercooler parts and filter stuff and AN lines for the turbo, and I got the exhaust right here and some more silicone stuff and some tubing and metal pieces right here, some more for the gearbox mount and the diff mount. I'm gonna use these for the diff mount, you'll see that later. And yeah, I'm happy to get back to it. Let's get to doing the first thing first, which is making the oil drain for the turbo.
Dus opeten hoe groot gat we moeten hebben. 3.
Pretty happy with that. This is a 6 PK and this is a 4 PK, which is a wider, it's the same belt but it has it's 6 instead of 4 ribs, and it's also slightly larger and it weighs less because it's aluminum. It looks very nice. And now I'm gonna be making how I'm gonna mount it to the engine, because this is a MX-5 alternator and it's a Volvo engine. And I have they have these two holes, which this one has thread in there so you can put a bolt in, and on the other side there's just this one with a hole. I'm gonna make a little mount in between here so I can put a bolt in. I can drill this out and get a long bolt in there, this one. And then we can mount this to the engine and put some sort of and put some sort of adjustable rod to tighten the belt. That's perfect. Now I just need to make a mount on the engine.
Next. Zo oud is zijn MB helemaal niet.
Ja, alles ik ben, dus ik oud.
Ja, klopt. Dat is ook best oud eigenlijk, ja.
Het moet makkelijk zijn, hè? Wacht.
Ja, alles is op de fiets.
Ja.
Mijn auto is sowieso. Dus dat is wel de zijkant wel net weer.
Heeft hij nog lopen even op het scherm tikken of op de uitknop. En het duurt even voordat als je hem stopt, dat hij dan hem opsluit. Dat het dan vriest.
Ja, deze moet wel zo. Acceptabel.
Ik had er nog nagedacht te kopen. Die doos, dit keer.
Dat is een busje, oh daar.
Laten we het mooie werk zien. Thijs made the alternator plate with the bushing that I made and with some 16 by 16 millimeter box square tubing, and I'll weld this up and we'll see how it fits on the car.
Want bij een gewone slangenklem heb je altijd een plek waar je hem aandraait. Ik kom erop. Ja, bij mij is het fout als je af bent. Nou vast. Zoiets. Zit hij enigszins vast? Heb ik de boot uitdraaien?
Speling op de bus. Oh. 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 Ik zie het, ja.
Dat is het wasapparaat.
So this is what we came up with. We have a single bolt right here, so it can pivot around that bolt. We'll figure out eventually how to tension it, and it's a temporary belt of course, but this is about what it's going to look like. It's going to tension to this point and somewhere here. We still need to make a mount for that. And I hope it's going to be okay with the throttle body right here and the intercooler hoses, which are going to go behind and around right there. So it's pretty good, very happy with that. This is the Miata's power plant frame. It connects the differential to the gearbox, and normally the MX-5 gearbox has mounting tabs for that, but I have a BMW box which doesn't have it, so I'm going to be making a mount for the diff to the chassis and the gearbox to the chassis. I am basing my diff mount off of this one, which is by Mathieu from Dynabuild in France. He put this up on his Facebook, and this is a K20 swap with a BMW 8HP automatic box, and he cut up the original differential and he used two end links going to the bracket to which the handbrake mounts. So I'll be replicating this. Big thanks to him. I got in contact with him and he shared some details, which is really useful. And I'm going to be modifying my power plant frame to do the same. I already have the parts. Let's make it. That's off of the PPF. So I'm gonna try and mount that to the Diff now, using this as a prototype of mine block, which is normally there. It's a cast, but I always break just like mine. So I'll be making this out of some different material later, and I'll be using the bolts and the original nuts. Here's a tip which helps on any MX-5. The top nuts that are in the PPF on the Diff side, those interlock using small little teeth right here, but they always tend to strip when you take them out a bunch of times. So what I do on many cars is cut 2 sides on this. So it's a wrench size 21 millimeters will fit on there. You can just put a wrench at the top so they don't spin. These tend to really be stuck onto the bolts because they're aluminum and these are steel. So that's an easy way to modify these and make your life a bit easier. So this is what we're working with. The PPF comes about up till here, but I'm gonna cut more off. And if I look at the pictures from Dynabuild, I think there's a hole here, just behind there. And that's where he bolted his rose ball bearing. And I'll make mine the same. I think he cut it and kept this bit and just cut it like this. So I'm gonna do the same. And I'll mark that out right now and cut it out. If you're doing the same, you can see right here, it's the first, like these are 2 circles, and this is the first one that's not a circle, and it's sideways, diagonal. And I'm gonna be making my hole right here for the rose ball bearings that you're gonna see. Now I just need to clean it up a bit, because it's quite rough still. Here it is. I'm really happy how that turned out. Now I'm gonna use these M16, and this is also a 16mm hole. They're rose bearings, they're really nice. I use them for end links and stuff like that in the past. On go-kart steering, shafts and stuff like that. So yes, those are really nice. Just put them in here or behind. Then let me check. First I'll insert a bolt with a washer from this side, and then I'll add the rose bearing, and this is a locking nut, has a nylon washer because I don't want my diff mount to come loose. Put it on there and just zap it. There we go. Oh, need to get a slightly longer bolt though, so it engages the locking nut. But that's pretty good so far. Very happy. Underneath the car we're gonna do the same thing. This is the bracket that this is the e-brake cable, and this is a single-sided, as you can see. It just has a flange on this side, like it's one-sided. So I'm gonna drill this out to M16 and put the other one right there. Drill it to 60 millimeters. Now I'm gonna insert the bolt from the back and put on the ball joint right here. Then we'll put on the PPF mount brace. It's not a PPF anymore, this one. And we'll see how long the in between shaft has to be.
Hi, Jort.
Hi.
All about het Jort. Wil jij iets vets? Heb jij een stift, jongens?
Nee, geen goeie meer. Oh. There it is. Oh. That's the PPF bolts in. So far, good enough. And then this one, I think I'll move it over to the other side. It's probably better. Kinda I need to screw this down to see how it sits, and then I'll be able to decide if it goes on this side or the other one. Then I'll measure the bar that's needed and subtract the bolts that'll be here to clamp it down. So far you guys have been very excited with watching all the videos and the Instagram, and I want to remind you that if you want to support the build, you can head over to MP Performance, which is my company. I make a bunch of cool parts for these cars. One of the things I want to show you is this, which is a brand new product that I've just launched. It's a fuel cap that goes over your normal cap, and it has magnets inside. So when you start refueling your car, you're able to do this and hold the cap right there. Normally you have to put it either here or on your paint or lose it somewhere. But this is a simple feature and it works great. this is what we come up with for the adjustment. We welded 2 nuts together. Unfortunately, we didn't have any longer nuts, so we welded 2 together and we'll run a tap through it. And we'll be welding these to this solid bar, steel, and it'll be like this, because they need to be offset, because it won't fit in a straight line, unfortunately. But this will work, and you'll see in a minute how it all works out. Pretty good. Perfect. Nice. Cheers. This is the first part. We'll be welding the nuts once we've established how long it should be. So, put it in right here. Deze komt met een marker. Perfect. La 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 la. Hebben we niemand.
Ik hou het wel tegen elkaar.
Ik hou die boven die ja. Ietsje. Zo.
Ja.
Ja, ietsje zo, ietsje nog, ja.
Zo?
En filmen, ja. Oké, kom. 3, 2, 1. Vast genoeg?
Ja.
Mooi. Zap hem los.
Dat was hem. Ja. Ja, dank u. Nou.
As you can see, here it is, the first version at least of this mount. It's not the prettiest, it needs some working, some finishing work, but still I'm pretty happy with this. It should enable me to adjust the angle of the diff, which I will need for the drive shaft. Talking about the drive shaft, I've already got a few separate drive shafts, and I've started working on the adapter. So you'll see this later, of course, in the video that's dedicated to the drive shaft, but I'll be taking this side of the drive shaft, which has a flange, and cutting it off about here, and then taking a second drive shaft and taking the second one of these swivel joints with the flange on there, and bolting that up to a bit of steel, of course, in this shape, which bolts directly to the BMW output shaft of the transmission, and should enable me to, and that should work and connect my drive shaft to the car. So overall, a very successful day. We've made the engine mount, made a turbo drain. You haven't seen this, but I've also clocked the turbo slightly more clockwise, the front housing, just the front housing. So this points slightly more towards the down, away from the hot exhaust manifold. This is way better for the silicone hose that's going to be here. And the only thing I had to do for that is drill an extra hole in the mounting tab for the wastegate. So I'm pretty happy with that too. And you've seen the PPF mount, the PPF to diff mount. In the next video we'll be making the gearbox mount to the chassis. It's kind of similar. Use quite a bit of material, which I've already gathered. Right here, box sections. I showed a CAD picture, will be up on the screen. And we'll do that next time. So far I'm pretty happy with it. Got quite a lot of work done today and yesterday. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.